Welcome to the Chevy pregame show on Fox.
Both New York and Los Angeles came into this series with a blueprint to win, planning out exactly what they had to do to advance to the World Series. But in baseball, things don't always go as planned. In Game 1, the Yankees' workhorse set the table with a gem, while the Angels' game plan fell apart.
Tybar and Figgins look at each other. It's 2-0 New York. This one gets away, and Cabrera will go down to second base. The ball gets away from Hunter, and a run will score.
Neither team could have planned what happened in Game 2. Through the cold rain in New York, it was a battle that went back and forth to the wee hours of the morning.
There's the base hit from Figgins. Angels lead it here in the 11th. Back is Abreu at the wall. That's gone.
But in the end, after 13 innings, it was another crucial Angel misstep that led to yet another Yankee victory.
His Turris to second, gets away. Figgins drops it. Yankees up 2-0.
As the series moved to L.A., New York planned to beat the Angels into submission with their power.
A blast by Derek Jeter. That is a rocket. Here's a shot down the right field line. 4 solo home runs today by New York.
But with their backs to the wall, the Angels showed that they had power of their own.
Back is Damon. The Angels have tied it.
And in the end, their resiliency led to victory.
Here's a shot. Here comes Kendrick. Angels win Game 3.
Now, the Angels look to even the series against the Yankee ace, who's already shut them down once this series. What plans are in store for Game 4? Find out next on Fox.
The sun is shining yet again in California as things are definitely heating up in the ALCS. The Angels' walk-off win in Game 3 has lifted the spirits in Anaheim, and today the Angels look to even the best-of-7 series against New York. A-Rod and Jeter have each hit homers in the last 2 games, but we'll tell you why they might be hard-pressed to be heroes yet again this evening. Speaking of shining stars, Vlad did not strand runners. He drove them in with a tying homer in the 6th, and Howie Kendrick capped a 3-hit day by scoring the game winner in the 11th. Who will grab the spotlight tonight as the Yankees and Angels get ready for Game 4 of the ALCS on Fox?
And welcome back to the Chevy pregame show on Fox. And welcome to an absolutely beautiful night at Angels Stadium. Show your ticket. Thank you. Come on in and watch game number 4 of the American League Championship Series with the Yankees and the Angels, and the Yankees up 2-1. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Joe Buck. Tim McCarver is coming right up. Well, after that long night on Saturday night at Yankee Stadium, the cold, the wind, the rain, we flew all the way across the country and had the same kind of game here yesterday for Game 3. Saw it all, 4-hour-plus game, 11 innings, and the Angels got the victory. And Tim, that's what I want to talk to you about, because for the Angels, they were down 2-0, 3-0 in Game 3, and it started to look like it was getting awfully late.
Well, I don't know whether you could call their situation desperate, but they were in trouble. It was very close to desperate until Howie Kendrick, in the bottom of the 5th inning, the Yankee killer, steps up with 1 out and nobody on and puts the Angels on the board. The first home run for the Angels in the series. Then in the bottom of the 6th, to tie it, Vladimir Guerrero with a 2-run shot. Tie game, bottom of the 9th. It was Jeff Mathis, his 3rd double of the series, scoring Howie Kendrick, and the Angels get off the mat, and that is exactly where they hope to keep the Yankees tonight.
And a quick look at the pitching matchup for tonight. CC Sabathia, short rest against Scott Kazmir, who started this season with the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's look back at the first 3 of this ALCS.
Through 3 games and 33 innings, here's what we've seen. $161 million free agent, worth every penny. Mariano pitching like, well, Mariano, the best postseason closer of all time. Dramatic homers by a couple of guys who've been ridiculed for postseason failure. And oh yeah, each team leaving the other on the field with a walk-off. So, has momentum shifted to the Angels? Or will CC ease the minds of Yankee Nation? Answers coming up. Game 4 is next.
Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by State Farm. To us, nothing's more important than being there. By Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. By Avidart. And by MasterCard. As of last night's game, MasterCard has pledged $36,000 to stand up to cancer.
Well, here we are. It's Game 4 of the American League Championship Series, and we are at Angels Stadium in Anaheim, California. The umpires still meeting at home plate, and they're waiting for the Angels to take the field. So while we wait, we'll give you the starting lineup for the Yankees. It's brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. It's Derek Jeter leading off. Johnny Damon batting second. Mark Teixeira hits third, and the Yankees need to get him going. A-Rod cleans up. He homered yesterday. So did Posada. Hideki Matsui is the DH. Robinson Cano, Nick Swisher, and Melky Cabrera. See the number, a low batting average as a group. The 220s, 227 against Scott Kazmir, the starter for the Angels. We ask you to reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. We'll give you a look at the Angels defense. Hopefully at some point they're going to actually come out on the field. In the outfield, it's Juan Rivera in left. Torrey Hunter in center. Bobby Abreu in right. Here they are. They actually are out on the field. Sean Figgins, Ibar, Kendrick, and Kendry Morales. The catcher is Napoli, and the pitcher is Scott Kazmir.
Scott Kazmir, only 25 years old. He has a fastball, a changeup, and a slider. And the slider is a good slider if it has tilt, and tilt means downward movement. The scouting report looked at how he has handled Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter, two right-handed batters against the left-handers. The left-hander, 7 for 60. He has postseason experience, 5 starts for the Tampa Bay Rays last year, and there's that point about the tilt on the slider.
And there's the look at the two managers yesterday. Mike Scioscia, we talked about a move that he didn't make in lifting Jeff Mathis for a pinch runner late in the game, and wouldn't you know it, the roulette wheel came up on Jeff Mathis in the bottom of the 11th, and he won it off Aceves. And so much first and second guessing for Joe Girardi with a pitching move that he made in yesterday's game by taking Robertson out of the ball game, inserting Aceves after Robertson had gone through the first 2 hitters with no problem in the bottom of the 11th. And what followed was a base hit by Howie Kendrick, who had 3 hits yesterday, and the 2-out RBI double, which ended a ball game that lasted 4 hours and 18 minutes.
You get the feeling talking to the Yankees that it was not necessarily the selection of the pitcher as much as it was the selection of the pitches. They wanted Aceves to throw more breaking balls. He only threw a couple of sliders. Mathis hit a high fastball, and Mathis has killed the high fastball for all 3 doubles in this series.
Yeah, he's got 3 at-bats, or his last 3 at-bats have all been doubles. He's on the bench. Napoli gets the start behind the plate. And here's Derek Jeter, who yesterday started the ball game with a home run. His 3rd career leadoff home run in the postseason. He is a career .346 hitter here at Angel Stadium, but he has not fared well against Kazmir, and he's not alone in this Yankee lineup against Kazmir. One of the big reasons why the Angels made the deal and picked up the 25-year-old left-hander from the Tampa Bay Rays. Career 2.67 ERA against the Yankees for Kazmir, and he starts it with a strike. Does have a home run mixed into those 4 hits. If you have forgotten, since I gave you the starting lineup, it's Damon to follow, and then Teixeira. And that's down the right field line, slicing away from Abreu, and it falls in for a hit. Jeter thought about it, comes back to the bag, and he's got a leadoff single. Thought about trying to stretch it, but Abreu got to it quickly enough. It's a leadoff single.
This is why a lot of American League outfielders play Derek Jeter toward the right field line. An inside-out swing, patented. Good play by Abreu to get to the ball quickly and hold Jeter to a single.
So Johnny Damon will bat, the #2 hitter, who went deep yesterday. First home run and his first RBI during this postseason. And Jeter left, throw down to second is in time, 1 out.
Mike Scioscia talking about the throwing arm of Kendry Morales. And he needed a good throwing arm to get Jeter. Notice how he comes toward the pitcher, and that gives him a better throwing angle. And Jeter, after singling, is caught on the first pitch. Actually, before the first pitch.
Here is the first one to Johnny Damon, and there is a ball inside. Yesterday, the Angels guessed right and pitched out. Mike Scioscia calling that late in the ball game, and here just a typical throw over, and Kazmir gets Jeter. There is a ground ball to first. Morales was worried about the jagged piece of the bat heading his way. Landed over his head, and just like that, it's 2 out, nobody on. And here are the keys to the game, brought to you by Warner Brothers Pictures Ninja Assassin, in theaters everywhere, Wednesday, November 25th.
CC stands for confidence as far as the Yankees are concerned. And the Angels finally have momentum after that 5-4 11-inning win last night.
Here is Teixeira, who is struggling, to say the least. He had that game-winning home run in Game 2 of the division series against Minnesota. But that is his only run production of the postseason. So while A-Rod has done all he's done out of the cleanup spot, the guy in front of him hasn't done much of anything. He's been very good defensively at first base, obviously, Teixeira, with just 3 out of 25, and that 1 RBI this postseason. Angels have handled Teixeira even better than the Twins. They've held the Yankee first baseman to 1 hit in 13 at bats. Two balls and a strike.
Interesting when you think about the difference in how the Twins pitched Mark Teixeira and how the Angels are pitching. The Twins pitched him inside. The Angels offering curveballs and breaking balls and change-ups away.
A high delivery, 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 2-2.
Kazmir looks very fluid. First 2+ hitters.
And a check swing for ball 3 on a high fastball. Teixeira didn't offer at it. Pretty good pitch and nearly a swing, but it's ball 3. Full count. That's foul. Yankees have to hope that seeing Kazmir gets Teixeira going. 7 out of 11. 636 career average against this now Angels left-hander. Back-to-back foul balls, still a full count.
Kazmir has thrown 6 straight fastballs to Teixeira. Had a good swing the last time when he fouled it down the left field line. Good swing fouling it back. You have to change your look. He's too good a hitter.
That's well hit down the line into the corner. It is foul.
Got away with 1.
Teixeira is zeroing in here on Kazmir.
Hard foul ball back, and this one. Kazmir got away with 1.
So the 9th pitch of the at-bat is coming from Scott Kazmir to Teixeira. And got him looking. Good start for Kazmir. Now it's CeCe's turn. Bottom of the 1st. No score.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. By Fidelity Investments. Turn here. And by Warner Brothers Pictures' Ninja Assassin. In theaters everywhere Wednesday, November 25th.
Take a look at the Taco Bell starting lineup for the Angels. Taco Bell think outside the bunch. Sean Figgins leads it off. He is at third. Bobby Abreu, then Torrey Hunter. Vladimir Guerrero, big home run yesterday. Juan Rivera struggling. Howie Kendrick is not. Henry Morales is at first. Mike Napoli does the catching, and Eric Ibar is the shortstop batting ninth. And there is Sabathia, and what he's done. 2 dominant performances so far this postseason. During the regular year, a 19-game winner. And as we've already talked about, pitching on just 3 days rest. And greeted by a line drive out to start his night. Right at the shortstop Jeter. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Scouting report on CeCe. Continuing that remarkable run. He's lost 1 time since July 28th. A power change. Now, what does that mean? It means about an 87, 88 mile an hour changeup. That's because he throws so hard. A big disparity in his pitches. And he's changed his fastball grip from a 4-seamer to a 2-seamer, and it's helped enormously.
Here's Bobby Abreu, who was 0 for 4 in game 1 against Sabathia with 2 strikeouts. And so far in this ALCS, 2 for 13. And a ball up and away. Obviously, we'll pay attention to the velocity for Sabathia, but in years past, he used to love and need to live in the mid to upper 90s. Now he's really pitching and pitching better with less velocity and better stuff. The 1-0. That's low. 2-0.
Some pitchers get wrapped up in that radar gun and not on the 17 inches in front of them. The movement. Left side, right side. Stay out of the fat part of the plate, and that's what he's doing.
A 2-0 to Abreu is a little high and tight. 3-0. On deck is Torrey Hunter. So the count's 3-0. Yankees sent only 3 to the plate, got a leadoff hit, but Jeter was caught stealing. And a 4-pitch walk. Here are CeCe's thoughts on pitching on just 3 days rest.
I did it last year. I'm used to it. You know, it actually kind of helps me out because I don't have to throw a bullpen. I hate throwing bullpens, so it definitely helps. But I mean, you know, just like I got so much rest in August, September that, you know, I feel fine pitching on 3 days rest. You know, from here on out if I have to.
The Yankees were careful with him down the stretch. By the end of the season, the Yankees had opened it up on the Red Sox in the AL East, and they did not have to push Sabathia like the Milwaukee Brewers had to push Sabathia at the end of the season last year. With Milwaukee last 4 starts, he went on 3 days rest. That included a playoff start against the Philadelphia Phillies when he lost game 2 and couldn't get through 4 innings. Previous 3 starts on 3 days rest had an ERA under 1. And there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with his velocity. Strike 1 and a visit from Jorge Posada. And for more on 3 days rest and CC Sabathia, here's Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, I spoke this morning with Brewers general manager Doug Melvin, and he told me that Sabathia relishes this challenge. He said that CC looks at it like nobody else in baseball does this. Some guys will go 4, 5, 6 innings. Sabathia wants to go deep into games.
He's pitching with 1 on, 1 out and dealing with Torrey Hunter. And missing with ball 1.
CC talking about how he hates bullpen sessions. A lot of pitchers are like that. That's throwing between starts. Dave Island, the pitching coach of the Yankees, telling us that 2 days ago, CC was throwing so well, his control was so good that he could have started 2 days ago.
The 1-1 slide step and a fly ball shallow right. In to grab it is Swisher, 2 out. Take a look at the Yankees defensively in the outfield. No changes. Damon in left, Cabrera in center, and Nick Swisher in right. Around the infield, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and Mark Teixeira. 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, and Jorge Posada catches Sabathia. Here's Vladimir Guerrero, who hit the 2-run, 2-out, game-tying shot off Andy Pettit in the 6th inning yesterday. Just his 2nd career postseason home run, and he takes a high strike. Didn't like the call from Sabathia. Jerry Lane is the home plate umpire. And a check on Abreu, who stole 30 bases during the regular season, has not swiped one in the postseason. Hard hit to third and dropped by A-Rod, who throws high but out, as Teixeira, who's been a dancer over at first base throughout this ALCS, made the play. After 1, game 4, no score. Alex Rodriguez leads it off here in the 2nd. And what a postseason it has been. A flair for the dramatic. And he's popped 4. First up, followed by Posada and then Hideki Matsui. Sabathia pitched around a 1-out walk in his half of the 1st. Kazmir gave up a hit but faced only 3 in his half of the 1st. And that's over but low, ball 1. You start looking at these Yankees averages for the postseason. The Yankees are 5-1 this postseason, but Cabrera's hitting 200, Cano 200, Damon 214. Jeter's at 308. Posada's 333. They have for sure been carried by the guy at the plate and their shortstop. Swisher's hitting 136. Teixeira's hitting 120. But the main reason why they're winning is for this postseason, the Yankees pitching staff has a 2.04 ERA. The 1-1. Down for ball 2.
Mentioned A-Rod's home runs. He did something that you would think was unusual. He homered in his first at bat in early May during the regular season. He also homered in his last at bat during the regular season. He's done it another year. He did it in 2006.
That one squirts away from Napoli, ball 3. Well, he ended up at the end of the regular season hitting 2 home runs and driving in 7 runs in 1 inning to get to the 30 home run 100 RBI plateau.
Dangerous situation right here.
Full count. When Rodriguez got there to 30 and 100 home runs and RBIs, he accomplished that for the 12th straight season. That's tied for the best all-time run with Jimmy Fox, who did it between 1929 and 1940.
Fastball inside.
That just missed, and Kazmir pounds his hand into his glove. It's a leadoff walk.
It appeared to be a little low and was. Kazmir may have wanted it, but just low.
So that gets that look out of the Angels manager, Mike Scioscia. like indigestion with a leadoff walk, and our Fox Tracks is obviously not anything official like the first down line in the NFL, just a gauge, and it was certainly at the bottom part, could have gone either way. And for Kazmir, frustration, as instead of a strikeout to start the inning, it's a walk with Posada digging in. Posada 11 for 25 in his career against Kazmir. Moved up in the order. Homered yesterday. There goes Rodriguez. Throw down is too late. Nobody even got over to cover. Going on first move like Jeter back in the first, and this time Rodriguez is successful.
Rodriguez not only stealing on Mike Napoli and Scott Kazmir, but also on Howie Kendrick. That surprised everybody. Derek Jeter went on first movement. He was picked up.
So a runner at second, nobody out for Posada, who's hitting .300 in this ALCS. The only RBI on the home run. Yesterday, a solo shot which tied the game in the 8th. One ball, one strike. And you start looking at the statistics, and there's a look at what Posada's done against Kazmir. You also look at what's happened during this postseason for the Yankees. They've hit 12 home runs. They have allowed only 2. Both came yesterday. Kendrick and then Guerrero. That squirts in. Rodriguez stays put. Ball 2.
Yankees with 4 solo home runs in yesterday's game. They have scored exactly 4 runs in each game. But not with runners in scoring position.
This ALCS 0 for their last 20. Two balls and a strike. And that's in. 3-1. And Jerry Lane has shown already that he has a tight strike zone here in game 4, and Mike Scioscia's letting him hear about it right now. 3 balls and a strike. On deck is Matsui. And now a visit from Napoli. So that gives us a chance to tell you who else is on this umpiring crew and where they're standing here for game 4. It's Jerry Lane behind the plate, Field and Culbreth at first, Dale Scott at second, Tim McClellan, the crew chief, at third, Laz Diaz down the left field line, and Bill Miller is down the right field line. Very slow, deliberate pace by Kazmir. 3-1 pitch. And that's low. Back-to-back walks with a stolen base in the middle. And it's 2 on with nobody out for New York. And a visit from Mike Butcher to Kazmir with Matsui coming up.
He's not being aggressive in the strike zone. He ran the count 3-1 to Mark Teixeira. Got out of it with the strikeout. Ran the count to 3-1 to A-Rod. Just missed on the 3-2 pitch. And now he just misses on the 3-1 pitch to Posada.
So while they talk on the mound, Ibar and Napoli joining in. We'll remind you that Chevy and baseball have teamed up to give fans a chance to win tickets to the postseason. And even better, you have a chance to win a new Chevy. Just register at worldseries.com/Chevy and may the best team win. Kazmir was picked up on August 28th for 3 minor leaguers. He's had 10 or more wins every full year in the big leagues, which totals 5 for this left-hander, who's only 25 and was 1-1 during the postseason last year with Tampa Bay and an ERA over 4. And he's in a second inning jam here tonight. and he misses low. A lot down from Kazmir. Maybe that's the silver lining. He's not missing up, but falling behind hitters. He's walked 2, and now he's behind Matsui. Slider misses down and away. 2-0, and the crowd starts to groan here at Angel Stadium. So does he. Or they start to eat and take pictures. 2-0 the count. 2 on, nobody out, and Kazmir steps up. I don't like his pace. I don't like the way his body language is out on the mound.
Well, you had to like it with Derek Jeter picking Jeter off the first pitch, and then Johnny Damon, but the last 3 hitters falling behind, indecisive.
That hits the outside corner. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-1.
CC Sabathia can pitch behind in the count much better than Scott Kazmir because he's got better stuff. He's got better control of his off-speed stuff, particularly the power changeup. Kazmir has to rely on one pitch, the fastball, when he's behind, so he's more easily readable.
Here's a 2-1. Matsui pops it up. Infield fly rule in effect as Ibar pulls it in 1 out, and a big out for Kazmir to come back from a 2-0 count. So Kazmir gets Matsui and will now pitch to Robinson Cano.
Hard to find a weakness in this Yankee lineup, but if there is one, the fact that 3 left-handed batters have to hit against left-handed pitching. Johnny Damon, Hideki Matsui, and Robinson Cano.
Cano 2 RBIs during this postseason. And Kazmir is just taking forever.
Well, they're having a tough time with the man on second base. Alex Rodriguez has caused a problem because with that runner at second base, you have to change the signs. Now he wants the fastball, I would imagine.
Cano takes up and away ball 1. The interesting part of it is you asked Mike Scioscia before the game if he toyed with the idea of starting Jeff Mathis, who got the game-winning hit yesterday, and he said he likes the way Napoli works with Scott Kazmir. They've had to go through the signs a couple of times, and Kazmir's been stepping off a lot. 1-0 the count, 2 on, 1 out. And there's a strike. It's 1-1.
With the runner on at second base, a catcher tries to make the signs simple enough for a pitcher to get and hard enough so the runner at second base can't relay it to the hitter.
Here's a 1-1. And Cano reaching for it, pops it up down the left field line. Ibar is out to get it, and he has it for out number 2. And if you look at the numbers with runners in scoring position for the Yankees and what they've done, Damon has left 5 on, Cabrera 7 on, Swisher, who's coming up, has left 7 on. 0 for 3. Cano at the back end of it 0 for 4, and he's left 8 runners on, and that includes the 2 he just stranded here. Here is Swisher, who has 1 RBI this postseason. That's it. Two on, 2 out, strike 1. A leadoff walk to Rodriguez, stole second. A walk to Posada. Matsui was up on the count 2-0. He popped up. Cano popped up. And for the Yankees, this inning is left to Nick Swisher. And that is close enough to home plate where Rodriguez can't advance. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Nick Swisher, after fouling off that first pitch, smelling the bat. Some players do that. Tell you, in my experience, I never smell wood burning on foul balls back. I've never really quite understood that. Some guys do it, but why do they do it? I mean, what difference does it make?
2 on, 2 out, 1-1 pitch. Little inside, 2-1. And that was the topic of the conversation between the late Ted Williams and Mark McGwire around home plate at the All-Star game back in Fenway.
99. Kind of an odd conversation when you think about it.
2 balls and a strike, and Swisher gets out of there. So again, Kazmir has fallen behind, and again he calls Napoli out to talk.
It's very unusual. I mean, it's not that tough to get your signs down. In fact, that's one of the easier parts. It's executing the pitches. That's the tough part. The selection is not that tough, but they are really having problems. You could bet when both Kazmir and Napoli return to the dugout, Socha will have something to say.
35th pitch from Kazmir is on the inside corner, 2-2.
Good changeup and a fastball count.
A 56-footer into the dirt. It's a full count, and the runners will go.
Fine play by Napoli. That's textbook right there.
Swisher's the number 8 man in this Yankee lineup. Cabrera is on deck. It's a 3-2 count, and the runners will take off.
If he has confidence getting the curveball over, the slider over, that's what he should go to right here.
And a ball off the end of the bat down the left field line. Rivera won't get there, but it's foul. Not well hit. Swisher got just enough of it, and out of the reach of Rivera to keep it 3-2.
That ball did not have enough hang time for Rivera to get to it in foul territory, so we'll do it again.
It was Kazmir having yet another meeting on the mound with Napoli. Ibar got in on the meeting as well.
No sign.
And a fly ball into right, should be handled by Abreu. Yankees put their first 2 on with walks. Kazmir into and out of trouble. Bottom of the second in Anaheim. No score in game 4.
Reach the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
Juan Rivera first up for the Angels. No score. Bottom of the second. Yankees up 2-1. Rivera, then Kendrick, then Morales against Sabathia, who walked a hitter. and deals a breaking ball for strike one. So far, Juan Rivera has just one hit in 13 at bats, no RBIs, and just 4 for 24 in the postseason. A series that has been dominated by pitching. That's off the very end of the bat into the seats. Strike two.
Yeah, good pitching usually gets a team to the postseason and is the major ingredient in winning a postseason series. And we talked about Mike Scioscia, and he would get immediately to the source of the problem, and he's talking to Mike Napoli right now.
The 0-2 to Rivera is down and away from Sabathia.
Thing is, in a situation like that, a manager talks to the catcher, not to the pitcher. The catcher controls the game, and Scioscia, a former catcher, knows that.
On 1 and 2, a chopper, high chopper. Jeter has to wait, now throw, and safe. Infield hit for Juan Rivera.
It's a helpless feeling for an infielder to wait for the ball to come down on the high hop. That was a very, very close play at first base. It appeared that he was safe. Good call. Fielding Culbreth, the first base umpire. It was very close.
Looks safe, and it's a leadoff infield hit. And now Howie Kendrick, who had a hit in game 1 against Sabathia, is 9 out of 15 against this big left-hander, and is a career .431 hitter against Yankee pitching. Talking to Joe Girardi before the game, he said Kendrick doesn't miss any mistake we throw him, no matter who's on the mound, and there's a clear look that Rivera was safe to start the inning. Kendrick yesterday homered, tripled, singled, scored 3 runs, including the game winner. To the right side, Teixeira takes the out at first, 1 away. Down to second is Rivera. So a productive out. Rivera is now in scoring position for Kendry Morales, who has 1 hit in this series and has been moved down in the order. Against right-handers, he typically hits 5th. Against lefties, 6th, but now he's batting 7th behind Kendrick. Morales is 6 for 36 in his postseason career. Line drive into right. Swisher is there for out number 2. Hard hit for Kendry Morales, but right at Nick Swisher. 2 down, and Napoli coming up. Time for our John Hancock question of the day. Who holds the Yankees single postseason record for most home runs? The Yankees single postseason record for most home runs is our John Hancock question of the day. So that's over a single postseason. A-Rod, we show him, he has hit 4. Here in 2009. Here's Napoli. There's Rivera, 2 out.
It's hard to think that the answer to that trivia question would be a Yankee that played before 1969. That was the year division play started. So the introduction of more postseason games.
Our microphone at second base is picking Jeter up again, yelling out this time to Sabathia, with Rivera taking a huge lead off second base.
Had no stolen bases during the season, however, did have one against the Red Sox in division series.
Now Jeter, who's directing traffic out there, gets one on a couple of hops. Out at first, a leadoff hit by Rivera. He's stranded. Angels have left 2. We've played 2 on a beautiful night, no score. Scott Kazmir was 2-1 against the Yankees this season. 0-1 while with the Angels. He lost to A.J. Burnett 3-2 late September. Melky Cabrera first up, the number 9 man for New York. No score. Game 4, and a push bunt. Looks like a beauty and safe with no play. Cabrera could not have pushed that into a better spot. And he starts the inning with the second Yankee hit of the night.
Well, you're right. That was perfectly done. Kazmir falling off to the third base side. He can't get to it. And Morales playing too deep. Perfectly executed push bunt by Cabrera. Nobody there to cover.
So now Jeter, who floated a base hit down the right field line his first time up, and then was running on the first move by Kazmir and was caught stealing. Kazmir threw behind him, and Morales threw down to second. Now he goes to right again. This one sends Abreu back a few, 1 out. Hard hit. Jeter's 1 for 2. That'll bring in Johnny Damon. Damon shattered his bat, grounded out to first base his first time up. This series will take a break tomorrow. Tomorrow's an off day built in. Then John Lackey, the loser in game 1 of this ALCS, takes on A.J. Burnett, who will be pitching on regular rest. He got a no decision in game 2. Fastball for a strike. Home plate umpire is Jerry Lane tonight, as we've said. He is wearing a microphone for us. Had an interesting exchange with Mike Scioscia before this inning. And if we get the chance, we'll play it for you here in the 3rd. After Johnny Damon does something before Mark Teixeira steps in. Oh, 2. Ball 1. Johnny Damon, 24 home runs during the regular season. Took one down the right field line yesterday in the 5th inning, and his solo shot made it 3-0 New York, a lead that the Yankees blew. That's down and away, 2-2.
With Johnny Damon's particular style of hitting, with 2 strikes against a left-hander, he's more inclined to hit the ball to left field. That's why Juan Rivera is over toward the line and left.
Now the 2-2 is fouled out of play.
Outfielders move from side to side depending on the count. If there are 2 strikes on a hitter, he's more inclined to go the other way.
Yankees have had very little production driving in runs without the home run ball throughout this entire postseason. That skips in, and there have been some pitches that have missed by plenty from Scott Kazmir here in the early innings.
And they've all been breaking balls. Sometimes you grip it too much. That was the slider. You mentioned 56-footer in the last inning, and that's what that one was.
So far for the Yankees, 15 of the 27 runs they've scored have come on home runs. It's 56%, the highest percentage of any team in the postseason this year. Now a 3-2. Damon grounds to the right side. Kendrick gets the lead man. That's it. Here is that exchange between Mike Scioscia and Jerry Lane, the home plate umpire, moments ago.
You're losing a pitch or something?
No, I have him inside, but you caught forever. But I told him, I said I needed to look inside. He busts way inside. Well, I got to go over his head, and I got hands and everything else in front of me. I just asked him to give me a peek. That's what I asked. He said I get lower. I said you don't have to get so far inside.
No.
If you do what he does, whatever he's got to do. You tell him what to do.
But if he gets lower, does it give you a better look?
Well, he hasn't done that yet.
All right.
Talking about the catcher, Mike Napoli.
And sure enough, on the first pitch of the inning, for the first time tonight, Napoli got on his left knee to give Lane a better look. Can't do that with runners on base because that would impede his throwing.
Talking about Jerry Lane seeing the pitches better from Kazmir. Napoli's been in his way.
Some catchers are just hindered by their size. Napoli's 6 feet tall, 215 pounds. Catchers don't have flexibility in their knees. Mike Scioscia was similar to Napoli in that regard.
Here's a 1-0. Meanwhile, Jerry Lane is no small guy behind home plate.
That's a good point.
I mean, he gets way down as well. That's his style of looking, but he's a tall guy.
Yeah.
When the pitch comes in, he is bent way over trying to get the best look he can. 50th pitch already coming from Kazmir. And again, the Yankees in this inning, as they have in each of the first three, put their leadoff man on, but haven't done anything with it. Leadoff hit by Cabrera, a bunt base hit. Jeter lined to right. Damon bounced into a force out, and now a 2-0 count on Teixeira, who looked like he was zeroing in on Kazmir in that first at bat. Another check on Damon. The more action going on in front of Alex Rodriguez, obviously for the Yankees, the better. But so far, Teixeira 1 for 14 in this ALCS.
He should get a good pitch to hit sometime in this sequence. Ahead in the count, 2-0.
Led the AL in home runs this year. That's a changeup, a high strike. It's 2-1. Joe Girardi telling us before the game that Kazmir features more of this, the changeup, than the slider. He was more fastball slider pitcher a couple of years ago. Now it's more changeup mixed in with a fastball. It looked like Kazmir can control his slider yet tonight. 2-1. There's high heat, 90 miles an hour, and a 2-2 count.
Well, you can clearly see Mike Napoli trying to accommodate Jerry Lane, the home plate umpire. He's trying to get lower. Watch the knees.
That squirts away. Damon down to second. It'll be a wild pitch. And a 3-2 count on Teixeira.
You saw the good blocks by Napoli in the early innings, and now he's got too many things on his mind. No excuses for that, but he's trying to stay lower. He's really out of his rhythm of squatting behind home plate because of trying to accommodate Jerry Lane and trying to block the pitches of Kazmir.
And for the most part, and now here we go again with another meeting. Kazmir, when he's throwing his sliders, bouncing it up to home plate, he can't throw it anywhere near the strike zone.
That's the fourth slider he's bounced in front of home plate. Got to be concerned for Mike Butcher, the pitching coach.
I mean, that's really his pitch.
Yeah, got to have the slider. We talked about the tilt of it. Tonight, it's tilting too much.
3-2. And a strikeout to end the inning. Second of the game for Kazmir. That may have been the slider. We go into the bottom of the third. A slider worked for the lefty. Still no score. weather is nice. The traffic is not.
Like the offenses tonight at a crawl.
Nothing going on so far. CC Sabathia back to work, and Ibar tries to do what Cabrera did. And Teixeira almost ran him into the Yankee dugout. 1 out. Just go back to that last pitch. You look at Teixeira making that out, and there was a slider, and one of the few, maybe the only one that's worked so far for Kazmir.
Yeah, that was the tilt that we were talking about earlier. Good slider to get Teixeira. In fact, he has struck out tonight on 2 3-2 sliders.
The only 2 strikeouts for Kazmir. So the struggle continues for Teixeira. 1 for 15. Here's Figgins. Lined the first pitch he saw from Sabathia to the shortstop Jeter for an out. Strike 1. The early returns on the stuff of CC Sabathia on 3 days rest.
That power change on the outside corner, the different grip on the fastball going away. He's got so many weapons now. Can come inside to right-handers.
Like that. 95, by the way. 1-1. If you look at Sabathia, he won game 1 of the division series 7-2 over the Twins. Won game 1 of this ALCS 4-1 dominant over the Angels. In his career in the postseason coming into this first year with the Yankees, 2-3 and an ERA of 7.92. He's a different pitcher. And the 290-pound body is righted. And he makes the play. Figgins is 0 for 2 and 2 out of 14 in this series. Our John Hancock question of the day: who holds the Yankees single postseason record for most home runs? The answer: Bernie Williams at 6 in that championship season of 1996. Troy Gloss, by the way, hit 7 for the Angels in the 2002 win-it-all postseason here in Anaheim. It is 9 o'clock in the East, 6 o'clock here in the West. Straight up. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Ken Rosenthal, Chris Myers with you from Anaheim. We're in game 4. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. No score. 2 out, nobody on for Abreu, who took ball 1. Fastball up and in, 2-0.
Sometimes when a lineup has only one left-hander facing a left-handed pitcher, it's harder to pitch to the left-handed batter because he's 1 of 9.
Well, so far, Sabathia has thrown 6 pitches to Abreu, not 1 strike.
Right.
The 2-0. There's a strike, and he led up to 93 miles per hour to throw it. 2-1. On 2-1, Abreu comes up empty. Movement to that 93 mile per hour pitch. It's 2-2.
Right now, Sabathia is so comfortable. Looks like he could throw 20 innings tonight. Ball just freely coming out of his hand.
Well, there was a lot of discussion about Sabathia going today on 3 days rest. I mean, when you think about the overall pitching picture for the Yankees, there really was no question to me.
No.
I mean, who would you rather have, CC Sabathia or Chad Godin or anybody else? I mean, nothing against anybody else the Yankees could run out there, but this is why CC Sabathia signed with the Yankees.
One of the premier arms in the game.
And if this series goes 7 games, he'd go game 7 on regular rest. He's rolling. He strikes out his first. Up for the Yankees. Him, Alcs Rodriguez. We go to the 4th inning, game 4. No score.
Game on Fox is sponsored by John Hancock. The future is yours. By Blackberry. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Alcs Rodriguez will dig in to lead it off here in the 4th inning for New York. Rodriguez, Posada, and Matsui. Anybody gets on Robinson, Cano. The Yankees have had no trouble putting their leadoff man on. They've done it each of the first 3 innings, but have not done much since. And with Napoli squatting way down low, ball 1 low to Rodriguez. A-Rod walked and stole a base his first time. Kazmir still trying to find a groove in this game. That's a strike. 1-1.
Mike Socha probably thinking, well, Napoli's lower. He got the low strike. He didn't get the 3-2 low strike to Rodriguez the first time up.
It's catching like Tony Pena used to.
I was thinking of that. Tony Pena used to catch 200 games a year in his prime. He'd catch 145 during the regular season, then go to winter ball and catch 55 or 60. And one of the reasons he never had knee problems was because he squatted like Napoli.
He'd do it that fashion, and then he'd also kick his right leg out straight.
Tony has told me that he thinks that that helped preserve his knees. He's never had a knee problem.
3 balls and a strike. Going to challenge A-Rod on 3-1. He did, and Rodriguez fouled it back. We had a chance to visit with Mike Butcher, the pitching coach for the Angels, during the last break, and we will play that for you here in the 4th. The next home run Rodriguez hits against the Angels will be the 70th of his career against the Angel organization.
Fastball inside.
And a rocket up the middle. Boy, is he locked in. A walk, a single. Leadoff man is on for the 4th straight inning, and here is Mike Butcher. First question was about Kazmir, and that he has made some pitches when he's had to so far tonight.
Yeah, he's he's been working behind a little bit, trying to get that fastball in some good zones right here. But like you said, he's made some good pitches to get out some innings, and he's thrown some nice changeups. That was a nice slider right there to share at the end of the last inning. But he's mixing it up, keeping us in the ball game right now.
Mike, what can you tell us about the miscommunication between Napoli and Kazmir? Anything?
No, the bunt.
Actually, the pitch, the meeting's on the mound. The meeting's halfway between the mound and home. I just think they're just trying to get it right. Just make sure that there's no cross up in the pitch selection, and make sure that he's going to commit to the pitch, and just make sure they're on the same page. That's the bottom line. Just make sure if you want the ball inside, get up, set up inside. If you want it away, set up away. So I think that's just I think they're pretty much on the same page though.
We appreciate your time, Mike. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
While we hear from Mike Butcher, Posada drills one down the third baseline that just hugs inside the bag. Good work by Rivera to get it back in, and it's 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out for New York.
Situation right there where Kazmir hits the glove of Mike Napoli, trying to come inside to Posada. Jorge appeared to be looking there right over the bag for a double.
So Posada's moved up in the lineup. That pays off as it sets up an RBI chance for Matsui. The infield comes in. That tells you how much the Angels think of the pitching here tonight of CC Sabathia. They'd like to try and cut down the runner at the plate and won't just give the free run on a ground ball. Meanwhile, Matsui in his career during LCS play is a .377 hitter. Yankees trying to get on the board first here in game 4. Ball 1 up and in. A career average in LCS play for Matsui, 5th best ever. Will Clark has the best, Euclid, Mickey Rivers, and then Pete Rose, followed by this man, who's done this with runners in scoring position this postseason, 2 for 5. Good pitch from Kazmir, strike 1.
Prior to that pitch, Joe, Rodriguez was giving hand signals to Jorge Posada at second base, telling him that on a ground ball that's hit in the air, a high chopper, he's going to go. On any other ball at an infielder, he'll stop. If there were one out, he'd try to score. But he's trying to alert Posada as the trail runner what he's going to do. There, right there. High chopper, I'm going. Ball hit hard, I'm staying.
On the outside corner at the knees, strike 2.
Kazmir now getting the low pitch.
The Yankees are 0 for their last 24 with runners in scoring position. And one away as Kazmir ties up Matsui.
Ties up is right. Right in on the hands.
Good fastball in a perfect spot. 1 out. And now it's Cano with Nick Swisher on deck.
Rodriguez shaking his head yes to Posada. Any ground ball, he's going to try to score. Going on contact.
Throw down to third, and Rodriguez gets back easily. The infielders have backed up maybe 2 steps. Especially on the right side. And with runners at second and third, 1 out. It's an 0-1 count on Cano. To the second baseman. Here comes Kendrick. Throw home. Too late. Rodriguez gets under the tag, and it's 1-0 New York. The throw was high, and Napoli could not get the tag down, and Rodriguez crosses home plate with run number 1.
Taking advantage of an infield that is too deep. You mentioned it, Joe. The rights, if you're going to play in, you're going to try to cut down the run. You can't play back on the pull side, and the throw by Hendrick is too high, and Rodriguez scores. Posada goes to third because Rodriguez had told him before the play, ground ball, I'm going. Yankees on the board.
Well, it was surprising to look back up and see the infielders back after they were in for the at-bat by Matsui.
Couldn't agree more.
They weren't all the way back, but they were back a couple of steps, and that certainly diminished the chances of Kendrick, and the high throw didn't help. There's strike 1 on Swisher. Now first and third, 1 out, and the Yankees have a 4th inning Game 4 lead. You can get infatuated with the power of Alex Rodriguez for good reason. He's number 8 on the all-time home run list. But he's a 2-time Gold Glove Award winner at shortstop while he was with the Texas Rangers. And he's a very good base runner, and bad hip and all after having the labrum surgery in March. He's running well, got a great break on the ball, and despite being a cleanup slugger in this Yankee lineup, he scored that first run because of his legs. Here's a 1-1 to Nick Swisher. Right down the middle, strike 2. So the Yankees have produced a run without a hit with runners in scoring position, but it's an RBI for Cano on the fielder's choice. Swisher set up at 1-2. Two and two. Kazmir has flirted with danger all night. That might be a good sign for Yankee fans. Sabathia is yawning in the dugout again, as he was in the late innings in Game 1
last Friday night.
Here's the 2-2 in the dirt. Full count with runners at the corners. It's Posada at third and Cano on at first.
Swisher, 126 strikeouts this year. I don't think for that reason that Cano will be running. Posada's not a fast runner at third base. There's really no sense in sending him right here.
On deck is Melky Cabrera. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Nick Swisher. 82 RBIs during the regular season, 1 this entire postseason. And not close, gets away. It's ball 4 to load him up. Third walk by Kazmir, and they may get busy out in that Angel bullpen here quickly. Number 9 man is Cabrera walking in. A bunt base hit his first time, and Mike Butcher is going to jog out and talk to the battery of Napoli and Kazmir. Let's go down to the field level and check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Guys, keep in mind the only reason Scott Kazmir was available to the Angels is because he is so erratic. The Rays feared that he wouldn't justify the remainder of his contract. $20 million over the next 2 years, plus a club option for 2012. The Rays, as a low payroll team, can't afford high-priced players to stumble. The Angels are better positioned to take such risks.
And so they traded 3 minor leaguers to get Kazmir at the end of August. He brought with him good career numbers against both the Red Sox and the Yankees. But he's in big trouble here with the bases loaded, 1 out, already trailing to Sabathia in the 4th inning. Melky Cabrera at the plate, and a fastball for strike 1. Angels owner Artie Moreno watching Cabrera, who had 68 RBIs during the regular season. Now in the hole 0-2. The last Yankee to hit a grand slam, in case you're wondering, in the postseason was Ricky Leday. Game 4, the '99 ALCS. The 0-2 skips in. Kazmir's been able to throw some good pitches, but when he's been ahead on the count, the pitch that's supposed to tantalize a hitter to maybe go after it is bouncing to home plate, and he's losing that advantage as he just did with ball 1.
Yeah, that's the breaking ball. Of course, that 0-2 pitch was supposed to be in the dirt. You have to have confidence to throw it in the dirt and hope your catcher can block it.
Shattered bat. That ball is foul. And Cabrera wasn't left with much.
That's a slider in on the hands of Cabrera. He'll need a new business partner. Tell the spin on good sliders really is, they're tighter than that. That is not a real good spin that pitching coaches look for or catchers look for when they call the slider.
Another 1-2 pitch to Melky Cabrera, and fouled into the upper deck.
Players refer to that as a cement mixer, but it does. That was the pitch before that. It did get on the hands of Melky Cabrera to break his bat. I think Kazmir's going to try to get him to bite at a ball in the dirt, breaking ball down out of the strike zone. Hope Napoli can corral it.
Left side and through, base hit. In to score Posada. Here comes Cano. Throw home by Rivera. Safe, and it's 3-0 New York. Just ahead of the tag, and now onto the phone goes Mike Butcher as the number 9 man Cabrera finally gets a Yankee hit with runners in scoring position.
The ball is hit well. Rivera with a strong throw, but it's in foul territory. Napoli does all he can to try to touch the disappearing Cano.
And Jerry Lane in perfect position to make that call, and he got it right. So the Yankees had been 0 for their last 26 with runners in scoring position. Before that, from the number 9 man Cabrera, as Jeter takes low ball 1 in a 3-0 game here in the 4th. He's been busy. Jason Bulger getting loose. Posada with the key hit in this inning set it up. After a smoked base hit back into center by Rodriguez, Posada doubled down the left field line. Matsui struck out. Cano drove home a run with an infield bouncer. A walk to Swisher and a 2-run hit by Cabrera. That was close. But Swisher got back ahead of the tag by Ibar.
The throw was down where it should be. Ibar's tag was there. It looked like they had it. Close pitch or close call from Dale Scott. He was out.
Well, the only reason why he may not have been, I think Ibar's glove is in front of the right arm. Swisher, although, I mean, it's odd that he didn't argue at all.
Yeah, he didn't. He's out.
Yeah, he's out. Crowd sees it on replays throughout the stadium, and
boy, that was a picture perfect daylight play by the shortstop. Kazmir turning and not only threw it hard and on target, but down too.
Now Jeter takes inside ball 2. I mean, unless the angle is showing us something that wasn't there, it certainly looked like not only was Swisher out, but he was out by a foot.
Yeah.
But Ibar didn't argue at all. Here's a 2-0 to Jeter. 3-0. Got the left-handed hitting Johnny Damon on deck, a left-hander on the mound, a right-hander Bulger getting loose. So Kazmir could last past Jeter to pitch to Damon, as he's run the count to 3-0 and threatens to load the bases again. Two on, one out, and ball 4 will load him up as Kazmir wanted that pitch, didn't get it. That is the 4th walk in 3 1/3 innings from Kazmir. And we look at that pickoff play back at second. Certainly looks out as we show you on our Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Johnny Damon with the bases loaded. Chops one foul outside first. It was 5 years ago today. Game 7 of the 2004 ALCS when Johnny Damon hit a grand slam at Yankee Stadium playing for the Red Sox. Which is one of the highlights, maybe the highlight of his long and very good professional baseball career, which sent the Red Sox on to the World Series in a 4-game sweep over St. Louis. One of 2 home runs that night. The 0-1. In the air to center field. Hunter comes on, makes the catch, tagging. Coming to the plate is Swisher. Throw is wide. It trickles away, and over to third goes Cabrera. The Angels are going to ask for an appeal at third, saying Swisher left too early. And he did. And instead of 4-0, the inning will end 3-0.
Did Nick Swisher leave too early? Boy, it does not appear that he did.
I agree with you.
Nope.
Foot on the bag, ball in the glove, but Tim McClellan calls him out. 3-0 New York. Well, CC Sabathia goes back to work, bottom of the 4th inning. Nick Swisher was called out for leaving third base too soon. Replays have shown that he clearly did not leave third base too early. But Tim McClellan, who is the crew chief, called him out. We'll give you another look. Hunter, is at the plate, was the one who caught it in center, and the first pitch is up for ball 1 from Sabathia.
Watch Tim McClellan looking at the center fielder make the play. He wasn't looking at the timing of Swisher coming from third base. Honestly, I don't know how umpires do that, whether they back up a little more where they can get a view of the foot leaving the bag when the ball's in the glove. But it looked to us like Tim McClellan was looking only at the center fielder, and then he made the call that that Swisher was out.
One ball, 1 strike on Hunter, who chases one upstairs, and nothing wrong with the stuff Sabathia. But here's another look, and watch the ball go into the glove of Hunter, and the foot still on the bag by Swisher at third base, but called out for leaving the bag too early. So a run is literally taken off the board. The 1-2 pitch. Sabathia, a nasty delivery for strikeout number 2. And out number 1 here in the 4th.
Here it is one more time. Now watch Tim McClellan. Is he looking at the foot on the bag? No, I don't know how he could see the foot on the bag coming off prematurely, because he's looking at the center fielder Torrey Hunter making the play. I guess that obviously Tim McClellan will explain that after the game, but that did not appear that he could see both things.
Here's Vladimir Guerrero, grounded out his first time up. And Guerrero takes his strike, and you can see just sizzling velocity and good stuff from Sabathia here tonight. By the way, in case you're wondering, the official scorer has called it a double play, 8-3-5. Up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. And here's the bench reaction. That's Francisco Cervelli, who's telling Nick Swisher that the call was he's out instead of scoring the 4th run of the inning. Here's a 1-1. Jammed was Guerrero, and that's A-Rod to his left. 2 out. So with the bases empty and 2 away, Juan Rivera will be the hitter. He has the only hit So far tonight for the Angels, it was an infield hit back in the second leading off. Since that moment, Sabathia has retired 7 straight. Yankees led yesterday 3-0. Were eventually caught in the 6th. And the Angels, who blew an 8th inning 4-3 lead, won it 5-4 in the 11th. Rivera. Ball 1.
Keep in mind that the Angels led the major leagues in coming back when being down by 3 runs or more. They did it 15 times, and then they did it yesterday afternoon.
It's an important statistic. We just showed you 37 pitches. That's all for Sabathia. Working on short rest. The 1-0. Left side, and Sabathia is in charge. Inning is over. 8 straight retired by the big left-hander. 3-0 New York after 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. It's a 3-0 game as Kazmir goes back to work. I'm sure the leash will be short for Kazmir, who got out of trouble at the top of the 4th inning on a call from third base umpire Tim McClellan, helping him avoid any further damage. And he's behind on the count 2-0 on Teixeira. And now a fastball right down the middle, and Teixeira is really off.
Yeah, the worst thing a hitter could be is caught in between. There are a lot of Angel hitters caught in between tonight because they're facing Sabathia. That is not the reason that Teixeira is caught in between. You talk to Joe Girardi, and he'll say that that is the worst thing that can happen to a hitter. You don't know whether it's a fastball or a breaking ball. To stay back, go forward.
There's a rocket into left and a leadoff hit for Teixeira, and that's just his 2nd hit of this series. The Yankees have led for 19 innings. The Angels have led for 2. They had that short-lived lead in game 2 in the 11th. That was erased minutes later on a leadoff home run by Alex Rodriguez, the man digging in now at the plate. Then yesterday had a quick lead that was erased by a home run by Posada in the 8th. And they won it on a walk-off hit by Mathis. Now it's Rodriguez, who really looks locked in against Kazmir, and that's it. That's all for the lefty. For a start like tonight in the one in the division series against Boston, the Angels went out and got Scott Kazmir. He is KO'd here in the 5th of game 4. A-Rod coming up. Scott Kazmir exits here in the 5th inning, frustrated. 89 pitches. The Yankees made him work. And now Jason Bolger, who, Tim, I know has impressed you so far in this ALCS.
One of the bigger outs in yesterday's ball game, the 2 curveballs to Jorge Posada to lead off the 10th inning. Yankees went 3 up, 3 down, but there was a 3-1 curveball and then a 3-2 curveball, and the Angels end up winning.
Here's Rodriguez in a check on Teixeira. Teixeira with a solid ringing base hit into left to chase Kazmir. Ended an 0 for 13 streak, did Teixeira with that base hit. And now Rodriguez. Breaking ball in for strike 1. You can get in trouble as an announcer or as a fan or maybe even a teammate reading body language. But if you read the body language of Alex Rodriguez, that is an extremely confident hitter who seems to be picking up the ball really well as he hits one into left. Back at the wall. Rodriguez goes deep. And it's 5-0 New York. Number 5 of this postseason. And a playoff renaissance continues for Alcs Rodriguez.
I don't think you're going to get in any trouble reading his body language. Right on the money. Down and in. Another one.
Third straight game with a home run for Rodriguez. And it's 5-0 New York. With that, Alcs Rodriguez ties the red-hot Ryan Howard. And Lou Gehrig with consecutive games with an RBI in postseason history. Count goes to 2-0 on Jorge Posada. There's a bigger point to be made about Alcs Rodriguez as Oliver continues to get loose. We may see Oliver if Bolger doesn't get Posada, something we talked about in game 1. When you look at the roller coaster season that Rodriguez has gone through, that started with an admission of steroid use in his days with the Texas Rangers, then undergoing the hip surgery March 9th for the torn labrum. There's a strike. And the mind is an amazing thing. I think Alcs Rodriguez came back. He was unburdened by expectations. Everybody's had so many expectations for him since he came to the big leagues, and certainly after he signed that huge deal with the Texas Rangers. But he came back, he didn't know what kind of a player he was going to be coming back, and he tried to ease his way back in. Well, he came in hitting home runs in one game after another. 7 of his first 10 hits left the park, and he has settled into his best groove, certainly in the postseason with the New York Yankees. And he looks like the weight of the world is off his shoulders, and he's doing what he has done throughout his brilliant career. Bolger is on. Oliver's coming in. 1 on, nobody out here in the 5th. 5-0 New York, game 4. So Darren Oliver takes over here in the 5th inning. 1 on with nobody out, and the batter is Matsui. And he takes low for ball 1. A walk to Posada chased Bolger, who came on to give up the home run to Rodriguez, and now a foul tip off the glove of Napoli. 1 ball 1 strike. This crowd has been taken out of it, and as you look at the big picture for the Yankees, trying to get to the World Series, the Yankees start Sabathia on 3 days rest here tonight. In game 4 on Thursday they have Burnett, and if this series goes back to New York, they'll have Pettit and then Sabathia on regular rest. This is a big night for New York if they can hang on, something they could not do here yesterday. There's a strike, and it's 1-2 on Matsui. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike, and the throw down not in time. Matsui strikes out, and that is out number 1.
A rare stolen base for Jorge Posada. The throw is low. A lot of times when you have 2 strikes, the catcher has to stay back hoping to get the pitch. That was the case with Napoli, and Posada steals a base. So a runner at second and 1 out. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth
here in Anaheim, and I guess the formula tonight is exactly what Joe Girardi hoped for after a lot of people second guessing him from game 3. Sabathia and A-Rod doing his thing.
Yeah, A-Rod doing his thing, scoring from third on a contact play, and then homering his next time up after singling. He's been on base 3 times tonight. Single, home run, walk, scored 2 runs, driven in 2. Not much left.
Nothing in 1 is the count on Cano, and now he shoots one into left center field. Well hit. Back at the wall. It's off the bottom of the wall. Posada held. Good decoy by Hunter in left center field, and Posada goes from second to third on a double by Cano.
Well, on a play like that, you can't be decoyed. You can't go back to tag up. You got to be about a third of the way. Posada goes back too far to second to tag and can only make it to third base. If you're about a third of the way, you get a better read, and then you're in a position to score. But it was a good decoy by Torrey Hunter. He said, "My bad." Posada turning to Cano and saying, "My bad."
And now it's Swisher. Cano got to second base and just looked out to right center field. I think he was frustrated that for a guy Cano who has only 2 RBIs in this LCS, that shot off the wall, well hit into left center field, didn't score a run from second. And then, as you caught, Posada looked out at him and said, "My bad." And there's the frustration. It's still 5-0 and a chance for Oliver to keep it that way. Second and third, only 1 out, and a 1-0 count on Swisher. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. Swisher in this game has flied to right and drawn a walk, and now Irvin Santana is getting loose for the Angels. That's back to Oliver, and caught between third and home is Posada. And Posada, both are out. Neither one was on the bag, and they're both tagged out. Now Tim McClelland is saying, no, hold on a minute. Mike Scioscia's going to argue. Neither one were standing on the bag when they were tagged.
Posada certainly was not on the bag. He was off the bag. Napoli made the right tag of tagging the trail runner, which was Cano, and then tagging Posada. Because if you go for Posada first, then the trail runner already gets to third base. One more look. Napoli doing what he does. Posada comes off the bag, and now they're both out. This is an easy call.
It's one thing if Cano's standing there with his foot on the bag.
Right.
Then he's safe.
No, both are off the bag. That's an easy call.
And instead, the inning continues. First and third, 2 out. And Napoli still looking down that direction, saying, what just happened? The trail runner, in this case Cano, stays off the bag, and watch Posada slide off. Neither one's on a base. They're both tagged by Napoli.
That was very clear and very simple. They were both off the bag.
Now a throw to first, and back is Swisher. What's going on down there?
No.
This was pretty close at first. Here's a pitch up and away, and this crowd is frustrated.
Think about Jorge Posada from second base. He goes to third from second on a double, and then when he goes back to third, and the Yankees were doing the proper thing there by sending the runner from third. He goes back to third, gets off the bag.
Weird.
In the end, it doesn't cost the Angels. At least the end of it. What a night. Hey, remember when A-Rod homered in the inning? He makes it 5-0 into the bottom of the 5th.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Chevy and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Game 4 goes into the bottom of the 5th inning, and for the Angels, who have got to get something going, Howie Kendrick first up. He's the guy who got the scoring started yesterday for the Angels with a home run to make it 3-1. So far tonight, he's 0 for 1, 9 for 16 in his career against Sabathia. And Sabathia has retired 9 straight. He said 8 last inning. It's 9, and that's how he starts the bottom of the 5th. 1 ball, 1 strike. We had a chance to talk with Joe Girardi during the last break, and we'll get that to you here in the bottom of the inning. Here's a 1-1 from Sabathia. That's outside. For Joe Girardi, with all of the first guessing, second guessing with yesterday's pitching move, especially at the end in the 11th, Aceves taking over for David Robertson. He was one good start from Sabathia, away from erasing a lot of that conversation, and he's getting it from his left-hander as Cano makes up for that double reach into his glove with his good arm. And here is Joe Girardi, and we first talked about the pitching of Sabathia, which has been so good tonight.
Yeah, and that's real important because he's on one less day rest, and it's important that he's been economical, and they've come out and been aggressive on him, and it's worked in our advantage a little bit.
And Alex Rodriguez, I mean, we could probably have talked about him every game, but I don't think we've ever seen him as locked in during the month of October, maybe ever.
Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, we talked about that we thought he was in a good place when he ended up the year, and that he was physically healthy, and that the off days would help him, and he has been locked in from day one.
And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you about some of these calls. You can say what you want. I mean, this has been an odd game here tonight.
Yeah, it has been a little bit odd, and you know, it's just part of the game, and you got to deal with it, and you just move on and try to keep putting up zeros and scoring runs.
Very political and effective. Good work.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks. It's Joe Girardi, whose demeanor, and we've talked plenty about Joe Girardi in his second year with the Yankees. Despite everybody picking on him today in the papers, and I'm sure talk radio back in the New York area, his demeanor didn't change one bit prior to this game, and he's been standing in that dugout watching Sabathia mow through these Angel hitters as Morales hits one into left center field. Back is Cabrera at the wall, and it's gone for Kendry Morales. Angels on the board. It's 5-1.
Socia hoping that blast from Morales on the high fastball from Sabathia will wake up this crowd, and momentarily it has. First home run of the LCS for Morales. He only hit 4 from the right side this year.
He had the only RBI in game 1 against Sabathia, and he has put the Angels on the board with this. It was up around the letters. And just out of the reach of Cabrera in left center. Now 1 out, and Napoli trying to match it. 1 ball, 1 strike. That broke a string of 10 straight retired by Sabathia. It's now a 4-run game. 1 out, nobody on. Hard hit and off the glove of Rodriguez down the left field line. Napoli will hold at first as it's well played by Damon. A 1-out single.
Rodriguez diving for it, so a home run and a single. The Angels trying to get something started. And it might be the bullpen of the Yankees. Realize how little reaction a hitter has. That's almost 4/10 of a second. That last note right there, when it left his hand, it was going 95 miles an hour. When it got to the plate, it was 88 miles an hour. And the hitter, Morales, had about 4/10 of a second to react to the high fastball and hit it out.
And to take that pitch at that location and get on top of it enough was impressive by Kendry Morales.
Strong guy.
Here is Eric Ibar, the number 9 hitter, but a dangerous hitter. 1 on, 1 out, 1-0 pitch from Sabathia. There's life for the Angels, 2-0. Both of those games under Mike Scioscia. The 2-0. 2-1 on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Joe Girardi has gone to his bullpen early and often this postseason, but for now, he'll stick with Sabathia. Runner at first, 1 out, 2-1 pitch. Sabathia still has that good stuff, and he's thrown only 51 pitches to this point. But this could be a key at bat for the Angels with Ibar. Up on the count, 2-1. 2-2.
That was a power changeup that we talked about at 86 miles an hour. He throws that behind in the count, ahead in the count. Again, a lot of weapons to get hitters out. And there it is, a little circle change.
Still 2-2. Sabathia's walked 1, struck out 2. One way to keep the pitch count down, he is pitching to contact with just the 2 strikeouts.
One thing pitchers try to do, they're hopeful it's not loud contact. It's been loud this inning by Morales and the single by Napoli.
The home run and even the single, very hard hit. The 2-2 to Eric Ibar. Adjusted and got a piece of it. Tonight's in-game box score for the Angels brought to you by Fox Business Network, the new home of the American Dream on DirecTV channel 359. Or check your local listings. Figgins hitless. Same for Abreu. The hits down toward the bottom. Morales with a home run, followed by a hit by Napoli. Another 2-2 to Ibar. Another foul ball and a good at bat. In a battle.
Gritty at bat by Ibar, fouling off fastballs, breaking ball the other way.
Ball 3. After Ibar, it's back to the top of the order and Figgins. First full count of the night for Sabathia. And Ibar floats one into center for a base hit. Napoli rounds second and gets back. 2 on, 1 out.
Boy, that was a great at-bat by Eric Ibar. Fastball. Fastball is high. Fouls it off. 2-2. And now this.
Sean Figgins with 2 on, 1 out. Only 2 hits in 26 at-bats this postseason. Strike 1. Down by that Angels dugout is Chris Myers. Chris?
Well, Joe, what seemed to turn things, the momentum that the Angels lost, the way Sabathia was pitching, it wasn't so much what took place on the field. It was the umpiring call. It woke the crowd up. It woke the Angel dugout up. And that's when Mike Scioscia turned to his team and said, this is our chance. Let's go. It has been an inspiration. They seem to be a little bit more fired up. And Mike Scioscia was proud of the team last night when they missed opportunities, how they did not hang their heads. But the thing that turned this crowd and this dugout, at least for the moment, was the missed call by the umpire at third base last inning.
Missed call or not, crowd or not, it's an 0-2 count on Figgins, who has got to come through with a hit for the Angels. Sabathia trying to put him away. Abreu on deck. That's foul. And knocks Howie Kendrick off the top step of the dugout. .113 pitches in that Game 1 start on Friday night at Yankee Stadium for Sabathia. 60 now. To the second baseman, Cano. A flip out over to first. Safe. The inning continues. First and third, 2 out.
You are rarely going to get Sean Figgins on a 4-6-3 double play. Occasionally 6-4-3, but not the other way. Jeter doing what he can, but Figgins runs too well.
Well, now Bobby Abreu, who does not have an RBI in this series. All over the bases in the division series against the Red Sox. He's 2 for 14. Strike 1. And a little extra on that pitch from Sabathia, 95.
I was thinking the same thing. That might be the hardest pitch he's thrown all night. Zip on the corner.
Popped up. Melky Cabrera ends the inning. And in the inning, just the home run by Kendry Morales makes it a 4-run Yankee lead. Angels have stranded 4. We played 5. 5-1 New York.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network.
Well, as we look ahead to Week 7 in the NFL, Irvin Santana takes over. Fourth pitch of the night for the Angels. Some great games coming up on Fox this weekend. Brett Favre and the Vikings. Obviously also Adrian Peterson taking on Big Ben and the Steelers. Also the 49ers and the Texans, Packers and Browns. Then the Falcons play the Cowboys late. The Bears battle the Bengals, Saints and Dolphins. Coverage begins Sunday, beginning with America's #1 pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. There's the lineup for Week 7. And here is Irvin Santana, who got the win yesterday. Pitching one perfect inning, and a breaking ball is in for a strike. Derek Jeter, top of the order for New York, up by 4. Jeter is singled, been caught stealing, line to right, and drawn a walk. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. It's 1-1. Ed and Patty Gorin in attendance here at Angels Stadium tonight. Our boss at Fox. A 1-1 up the middle. Jeter on base again, third time tonight.
One of the things about Derek Jeter that's not talked about a lot is how tough it is to defend against him. It's a lot of balls to right field. The shortstop can't play him up the middle because he can pull the ball in the hole. He won't pull fly balls down the left field line, but he's very, very difficult to defend against.
Here is Damon. In on the corners, especially at third, is Figgins. As the Angels wouldn't be surprised by a Johnny Damon bunt. 0 for 3 in this game. 5 for 19 in this series.
He could sacrifice. He could try to bunt for a base hit. 4-seam fastball.
Or he could just swing away, and he takes low for ball 1. Check swing by Damon, and Tim McClellan says he went around.
It was a breaking ball, and it appeared he went too far. Johnny didn't think so, but hitters rarely do.
1-1 the count. That was a broken bat foul ball. Strike 2. How loose are they in the Yankee dugout? And Jorge Posada, like ammonia or smelling salts, a little liquid paper under the nose to wake up here for game 4 for Nick Swisher.
Looks like a salon down there instead of a dugout. Obviously Posada putting that.
Another broken bat. Morales thought better of trying to go to second, and the Angels just get the out at first.
That's a good job by Santana continuing the play, because it would be natural for him to look at Morales saying he's going to second and then to let up, but he keeps going and covers the bag. That's a tough play when the ball's behind you like that.
And that ball caught Santana as much as Santana caught it.
Caught up to him.
Here is Teixeira with Jeter at second, 1 out. Strike 1 over the outside corner. Teixeira has a hit, a run scored. His base hit started the 2-run rally. He scored in front of the home run by Rodriguez, then a walk, a double, a couple of force outs, a fielder's choice. It was an interesting inning in the 5th, and through it all the Yankees got only 2, lead it 5-1. There's another strike to Teixeira, 1-2.
Yeah, if you're the Angels, you're looking up the scoreboard saying the Yankees scored only 5 runs in the 4th and 5th innings, and it could have been worse. Could have been 7. Nick Swisher gets called out for leaving third base too soon. Posada goes to third on a double.
Here is Kendrick. Ball hit right at him. Teixeira 1 for 4. How about Alex Rodriguez and what he's done with runners in scoring position this postseason? 5 home runs, 3 have been game tying. And there's his latest. And look at the comparison. 04, his first year with the Yankees, through 07, a 245 average, production way down. A 400 average with 5 homers, 11 RBIs this postseason for Rodriguez. Runner at third is Jeter. And Santana misses inside, ball 1. Rodriguez has been on 3 times tonight. A walk, a stolen base. He singled and scored and hit a 2-run homer. Two and 0. Do the Angels feel like challenging Alex Rodriguez with a count 2-0, runner at third, 2 out, and Posada on deck?
Mike Scioscia walking Rodriguez yesterday with 2 out and nobody on when Brian Fuentes was in the game. They obviously did not walk him on Saturday night when he led off the inning to tie it with a home run.
That's chopped foul. Another way to look at those numbers for Rodriguez from game 4 in 2004, the ALCS, through the division series in 07. The Yankees were not in the postseason last year. In 07, the Yankees lost to Cleveland. Rodriguez played in 16 postseason games, had 1 RBI as a Yankee. And 2009 has been a completely different story. 2-2.
That last pitch is ideally where the Angels would like every pitch to Posada. Right at the belt, in on the hands. Prevents him from extending his arms.
Ball 3. In years past during the postseason, it almost looked like Rodriguez was going out of his way, chomping his gum, snapping his gum, trying to make it look like, hey, everything's okay. I don't feel the pressure. It's all good. Almost putting on an act. He did clearly feel the pressure. The production was not there. There is no act here in 2009. He is showing how great he is. 3-2 is strike 3 call as Santana gets around the leadoff hit by Jeter. Bottom of the 6th inning. Sabathia back to the hill. Rodriguez retired for the first time tonight. 5-1 New York. For the Angels, it'll be Hunter, Guerrero, and Juan Rivera against Sabathia. 5-1 New York. Bottom of the 6th. Torrey Hunter, who is the everyday number 3 hitter in this Angels lineup, hit a 3-run home run in the 5th inning off John Lester in the division series game 1. Since then, not an RBI. That's foul. Sabathia has thrown 65 pitches here tonight. Hunter has flied to right and struck out. The 1-1. activity for the Yankees in their bullpen, with Sabathia still under 70 pitches. That's ball 3.
Leadoff walks lead to multi-run innings. Sabathia, of course, knows that. 4-run lead. You try to make him hit his way on.
Torrey Hunter trying to get something started in the 6th. Comes up empty, and it was not a 3-1 fastball.
You talk about pitching with confidence when you could throw a 3-1 changeup for a strike with a 4-run lead in the 6th inning. That's confidence.
And now 95. His changeup is 86, 87 miles per hour, and his fastball jumps up now. As we've seen him do in the past, first couple of innings, his fastball was 93, 94. He just threw 195.
Yeah, we talked about that reaction time and how little time a hitter really has. Against Sabathia, it's even worse.
Jams Hunter, and the count stays full, 3-2. Guy's got good reach. Got the souvenir from the Angels third base coach. A rubbed up ALCS Game 4 baseball. Sabathia just got a new one and waits for a 3-2 pitch to Torrey Hunter. And Hunter tried to check his swing. He did. A leadoff walk.
Yeah, we talked about the reaction time with that machine that we have. Yesterday, as you can see, the pitch left Andy Pettit's hand at 89 miles an hour. It arrived in the area of home plate at 84. So it's about 4/10 of a second reaction time, or the blink of an eye, or the blink of 2 eyes, as that is Torrey Hunter's eyes.
Guerrero off the end of the bat, falling in for a base hit, and 2 are on for the Angels in the 6th.
Nick Swisher took that one step back in right field. I don't think he catches that ball even with a good jump. It's a changeup to Guerrero. Right off the end of the bat, Swisher took a step back, and by the time he came forward, the ball flops in front of him.
So now Juan Rivera, who has an infield hit 2 out of 15 in this ALCS. He's left 7 runners on in this series. Runners at first and second with nobody out. That check swing by Torrey Hunter on a 3-2 pitch went as no swing and a leadoff walk as they appealed down to the first base umpire, Field and Colbreth. The base hit followed, and now action for the Angels here in the 6th, and Rivera's up in the key spot. Rivera, who came up in the Yankee organization, takes a strike. Rivera came up in 2001, was there through 03, was with the Expos in 04. He's been with the Angels since 2005, and he had 25 home runs. A season where he had his most plate appearances in his career.
It was a good deal for the Angels in 2004, picking up both Meiser
is Turris, and Juan Rivera for Jose Guillen from the Washington Nationals after Montreal moved to Washington.
The 1-1. Ball 2.
I think what you're seeing is why Jorge Posada painted his nails with that whiteout between innings, because of the shadow. And CC Sabathia, or most pitchers, cannot see. So that's why you get an idea of what Jorge is doing.
And now Posada will go out and talk. Howie Kendrick, who's been very good in this series for the Angels, waits to hit next. Game 5 on Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, after an off day in this series tomorrow. And time called at the plate.
I think if you're Robinson Cano, you don't worry about the runner at second base. I mean, the chances of Torrey Hunter trying to steal with nobody out, the Angels trailing by 4 runs. You open up the right side and you cause a lot of indecision with Sabathia. That's why Rivera ultimately stepped out. You don't want to open that hole up on the right side too much.
Ground ball to Jeter, who will step and throw for a big Yankee double play. Posada leaves the plate. He thought that was out number 3, and now he comes back. As Alex Rodriguez came sprinting down the line to cover the plate, Hunter saw it, took 2 steps and stopped. Posada forgot how many outs there were.
Fortunately for the Yankees, Rodriguez recovered. Jeter an easy double play on the high hop. But Posada, meanwhile, you can see him in the background. CC saying, Jorge, hold it, wait a second. Torrey Hunter saw it too, and Rodriguez didn't see it. I beg your pardon, Hunter didn't see it, Rodriguez did. No harm, no foul.
And Teixeira, just to make sure. 2 outs, runner at third, the batter is Kendrick. So what a time for the Yankees to come up with their first double play of the night. Kendrick still could make this a 3-run game or a 2-run game with a home run. He went deep yesterday. Looking for a 2-out hit. 1-0 pitch. Change up from Sabathia. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Or has he gotten some mileage out of that pitch tonight? Talk about blinking in the blink of an eye. You could see Jorge Posada blinking when that changeup was swung and missed.
Ball 2, 2-1. If Kendrick can reach, Kendry Morales, who is homered in this game, is on deck. The opposite way and right at Teixeira. Bad break for the Angels. Put their first 2 on. Then a double play ball and a line drive out. 5-1 after 6 in game 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. We take you right to the Fox Business Network in-game box score for the Yankees. 2 hits for Jeter. Been on base 3 times. Alex Rodriguez, another game, another home run. 3 straight games with a home run. Some action down at the bottom with Cabrera, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Fox Business Network, the new home of the American Dream on DirecTV, channel 359, or check your local listings. Here is Posada. There is strike one from Irvin Santana, who pitched a scoreless sixth, got around a leadoff hit from Jeter. Posada 2 walks, a double, a run scored, and he's stolen a base. One ball, one strike. Posada, Matsui, and then Cano. Chopped off the plate, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jorge Posada. After the off day tomorrow, the pitching matchup, game 5, will be John Lackey against A.J. Burnett. Lackey 0-1, Burnett a no decision in game 2, and he will be working on regular rest. 1-2, and a strikeout starts the 7th. Here comes Matsui. The difference between the Angels and the Yankees coming into this ALCS was the depth in the rotation for the Angels and the depth in the bullpen for New York. The Angels using Santana out of their bullpen. The Yankees using only 3 starters because of the off day built in. The only pitcher who has to go on short rest, as it turns out, is Sabathia, and that's happening tonight. And he will have at least a 4-run lead when he takes the mound in the bottom of this 7th. Fastball for a strike to Matsui. It's 0-2.
That's a very good point, particularly when you think the last 2 games, one went 13 innings, the other 11 innings. So the Yankees with 8 relievers and the Angels with only 6.
One hop to Kendrick. And Matsui is 0 for 4 in this game and 4 out of 13 in this ALCS. That'll bring in Cano. 7th inning stretch is coming up, and then the Angels will have Morales, Napoli, and Ibar. You could see Meiser as Turris factor in the bottom of this inning, with Napoli due up second. Angels thought they had something going last inning with a walk and a hit to start the inning, but a double play killed the momentum for LA. Strike one on Cano. Strike two. And a strikeout. Napoli finishes it. And a perfect 7th for Irvin Santana. Time to stretch. Bottom 3 in the order coming up for the Angels. They need a spark. Trailing in the series and game 4. It's 5-1.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. No one else has all your favorite channels in HD. By Travelers, insurance in sync. And by Chevy and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
ALCS program. Sweet 16 to the left. Enjoy the game.
Thanks. Enjoy the game.
Oh, right this way, sir.
Come on in and join us on a beautiful night in Anaheim, California. 5-1. The Yankees behind Sabathia. Leading here in game 4, up 2-1 as well. And the Verizon game summary. Sabathia, game 1, 8 innings, 1 run on 4 hits, 113 pitches. Game 2, A-Rod with a home run to tie it. That throw by his Turris, the chain reaction with Hairston Jr. sliding in to end it. Then yesterday, Game 3, Jeff Mathis, the 11th inning hero. And the Angels were on the board in the series 2-1. But here today, Alex Rodriguez with RBIs in 8 straight postseason games to tie a baseball postseason record. And Sabathia on 3 days rest, 6 innings, 1 run, 5 hits, as he will work in the 7th, and the bullpen is still quiet for the Yankees. How many pitches? 80. Kendry Morales responsible for the only run for the Angels, a home run with 1 out in the 5th. Over but low, ball 1.
This is the 7th playoff game for the Yankees, and in all 7 games their starting pitcher has gotten the Yankees into the 7th inning. It makes the depth in your bullpen even better. Not as many innings to work.
The 2-1. 3 balls, no strikes. From Sabathia, Robert Myers is our artist, recruited to play football by Hawaii, was Sabathia as a tight end. Diehard Raiders fan and Golden State Warriors fan, and had an imaginary friend as a child named Danny. It was one of the highest paid imaginary friends in the history of the world. You could see it when we had that soundbite from Sabathia early. He's got a great smile, an electric personality, and he's fit right in with these Yankees. They've asked for his best tonight, and he's given it as he finds strike 2. It's a full count. It's Morales now, Napoli on deck. And then Ibar. Sabathia trying to battle back from a 3-0 count. And he does. Strikeout number 3. Ken Rosenthal has been hanging around that Yankee dugout, and certainly Ken around the Yankee locker room. As we look at a replay of the strikeout, tell us more about CC Sabathia.
Joe, 2.5 hours before today's game, Sabathia was sitting on a golf cart outside the Yankee clubhouse, talking on his cell phone, smiling and waving to reporters as they passed by. Maybe a half hour later, he was smack in the middle of the clubhouse, chatting up teammates, practically holding court. Well, Jerry Hairston took one look at him and said, this guy is like a position player. He's not a pitcher. And what he meant was he's always relaxed, always ready to go.
He has shown that here tonight. He was ready no matter what happens the rest of the way, as he has 1 out in the 7th. His velocity has been consistent. His stuff has been terrific. And look at the difference in the ALCS with the Indians against the Red Sox in 07, 0-2, an ERA just under 10.5. The Angels are seeing a different Sabathia here in 2009. A 1 pitch. How good has that changeup been?
Oh, I mean, it's been terrific. Yeah, most starting pitchers kind of isolated before they start. But CC Sabathia as personable before he starts, 2 hours before he starts a game, as he is on days that he doesn't pitch. Great changeup.
And again, back-to-back changeup and back-to-back strikeouts for Sabathia, who now has K'd 4 in this game.
We talked about it last night. Whenever that ring finger becomes involved, that's the changeup. That's how you can tell at home. He almost chokes it. slows it down, and the hitter thinks it's a fastball. Very deceptive.
Here's Ibar, the number 9 hitter, got a base hit in the 5th inning after a hit by Napoli, 2 on 1 out, but Sabathia got Figgins on a force out, and Abreu popped out to center. And now reaching for it. This is a foul ball. .90 pitches on the night for Sabathia. And talking to Joe Girardi before the game, wondering if there was a pitch count for tonight's game, he said, I don't think so. I'll see how the game's going. I'll evaluate his stuff as the game progresses, but I don't have one in mind. And pitch number 91 is a 93-mile-an-hour fastball inside for ball 1. Ibar 4 for 13 in this series. That is Teixeira will take it himself. A 12-pitch 7th inning for Sabathia.
I think this was his strongest inning, the 7th.
Impressive. On short rest, we go to the 8th here in Game 4. Yankees up by 4. We welcome you back. The Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball, reaching more than 4 million kids worldwide. Together they create a positive place for kids. Irvin Santana has been outstanding. He's retired 6 straight. Came on in the 6th inning, allowed a leadoff hit to Jeter. He struck out 3. And strike 1 on Swisher, who is hitless in this game, and 2 for 12 with no RBIs in this series. In case you're wondering, it is clear that Sabathia is going back out there for the bottom of this 8th. Dave Island wanted to check with him and say his stuff proves that he's feeling okay.
Oh, yeah.
The 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Talked about it, that 7th inning. Here's CC Sabathia pitching with 3 days rest. And I think that 7th inning was the strongest. Just overmatched the bottom of the order for the Angels.
How about 14 pitching changes in the other 2 games, and that caught Swisher on the foot.
Also caught Mike Napoli, the catcher. So Nick goes down to first base, and Mike Napoli is down also. He hit his right shoulder. Oh boy.
Swisher is lifted for a pinch runner. Gardner comes into the game, and he'll stay in and improve the defense for the Yankees. Swisher's night is over. The batter is Cabrera. Cabrera got a big hit in this game back in the 4th inning. He came up with a 2-run single to make it 3-0. That Palmer getting loose for the Angels in the bullpen. A run had scored on a fielder's choice with Alex Rodriguez getting under the tag on a high throw from Howie Kendrick at second base on a ball hit by Cano. Then after a walk to Swisher, Cabrera got the hit. Knocked home 2. And a 2-run shot by Rodriguez in the 5th inning made it 5-0. It's now 5-1 in the 8th. Check on Gardner. Back in that 4th inning. Here is the fielder's choice. Kendrick threw home. Throw was high, tag was late, and then Melky Cabrera drove home 2.
Yeah, I think Gardner's running. In yesterday's game, Mike Scioscia pitched out after the first pitch was a strike, and Jeff Mathis threw out Gardner. But when it's 1 ball and no strikes, you don't want to pitch out, because if you miss, then you're way behind the hitter. It's 2-0. So Santana's workload's increased, keeping Gardner close. Talked about it yesterday. There is no secret Gardner's going to be running.
Now ball 2. Jeter's been on base 3 times tonight. He's on deck. There he goes. Pitch is low. Throw down is in time for out number 1.
Boy, what a quick tag by Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Like he got him right on the tail. Very close, but a good call.
Now Cabrera takes a strike. It's 3-1. So Gardner comes in to pinch run. He's caught stealing for the 2nd straight game. He'll stay in the ball game and go into the outfield. Joe Girardi has put him in center and moved the guy at the plate, Cabrera, who draws a 1-out walk, to one of the corner outfield spots. And it's 1 on 1 out for Derek Jeter. First walk handed out by Ervin Santana. And that could be it for Santana. It is. So Santana goes 2 1/3. He strikes out 3, allows 1 hit, hit a batter, walked 1. 1 on 1 out. Jeter coming up, and Palmer coming out of the bullpen for LA. The National League Championship Series is taking a break today. They get back after it tomorrow. Game 5, Dodgers at the Phillies at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TBS. And a matchup of Vicente Padilla, who's been so good this postseason, and Cole Hamels, who's coming off a win in Game 1. Last night, Game 4 against Broxton. Jimmy Rollins with the Phillies down to their final strike. Rollins delivers. Last out, they were down 2 and into right center field. And for Jimmy Rollins, doesn't matter. I mean, it seems like it's a different guy every night for Charlie Manuel's crew. And that rally started with a walk, a hit batsman, and then Rollins delivered the knockout blow with the Dodgers 1 out away from evening that series 2-2.
Yeah, the Dodgers had the lead after 26 outs, but it takes 27 in a complete game.
Phillies do not quit.
No.
The world champs are 1 win away from getting back to the World Series. The Yankees are 6 defensive outs away from taking a 3-1 series lead in this ALCS. Cabrera at first, Jeter at the plate. And a 1-0. Palmer gets it by him, and the count 1-1.
Angels have a lot of pitchers that look alike, but they're hard throwers in the bullpen. Bulger, Palmer, Jepson, hard throwing right-handers.
Two and 1. One further point about the Phillies, the last two postseasons combined, Philadelphia's 10-1 at Citizens Bank Ballpark. 10-1 at home. That is a high hop off the plate. Barehanded grab by Ibar for the out.
Oh, what a play.
What a play by Eric Ibar. 2 out.
This is sensational. Who says you need a glove?
Man.
That was Omar Vizquel-esque. Eric Ibar showing off his great arm, and he has shown us why throughout this postseason. Mike Scioscia has maintained that he's as good as he sees on an everyday basis in the American League. Runner at second, Cabrera for Damon, who's fooled on the pitch. Strike one. The Angels in the bottom of this 8th inning against Sabathia will have Sean Figgins, Bobby Abreu, and Torrey Hunter. Top of the order. That is a rocket into right. Off the bat of Damon and out of the park. His second home run in as many games, and it's 7-1 Yankees in the 8th.
First 2 times up yesterday, Johnny Damon, the Angels got him out with straight changes, curveballs, and his 3rd time up, he looked for the straight change and got it. He's looking curve here and one-hands it out of the ballpark.
Ball 1 low to Teixeira. Ball 2. A 400-foot home run off the bat of Johnny Damon. He put one right down the line in yesterday's game. Now Teixeira's jammed. That shallow center field. Out is Ibar. The inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Sabathia will head back to the hill, and Johnny Damon has given him a little extra breathing room. 7-1 New York into the bottom of the 8th.
The new business card from Chase. Make your mark with ink. By the Volkswagen CC. Visit your local dealer for a test drive today. And by Corona. Kick back and relax with an ice cold Corona in lime. Relax responsibly.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Brett Gardner's in center. Melky Cabrera moves to right. No change on the mound. Sabathia allowed 1 run, 5 hits, leads by 6. And he finds strike 1 against Sean Figgins. Top of the order for the Angels: Figgins, Abreu, and Hunter. Phil Hughes getting loose in case there's trouble. Jeter. 1 out. And for Figgins, he is now 2 for 28 this postseason.
After a great year, a year in which he scored 114 runs. Going to be a free agent this year and should sign for a lot of dollars, a lot of places, but is having a terrible postseason.
The run total was second best in the American League. He has scored 1 this postseason. And here's Abreu, and what a difference from the division series for Bobby Abreu. Has not produced a run. No homers, RBIs. He is 2 out of 15 in this ALCS. And one of those hits came yesterday when he rounded second too far and was caught going back to the bag. Strike 2.
Well, that's an idea of Sabathia against a left-handed hitter, and a good one. A 300 hitter in the major leagues, when you can make a guy look that badly on a fastball away. Sabathia just overpowering the Angels.
.94-mile-an-hour fastball here at the end of his night. And again, if the Yankees win here tonight, at worst, they would have Sabathia on regular rest, ready for a Game 7. They could end the ALCS here 2 nights from tonight, when A.J. Burnett takes on John Lackey. The Angels will like who they have going in John Lackey, who's their front of the rotation guy. A.J. Burnett looks so good in that Game 2 start. Got wild in the middle innings, got a no decision. That is on Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern. How about another strikeout, number 5 for Sabathia at 94 miles per hour from the 29-year-old left-hander.
Usually you do a sequence when a guy's gotten a hit. We're doing this sequence because of overpowering stuff from Sabathia to Abreu, fighting the 0-2 pitch off again and strikes out on a high fastball.
This will be pitch number 100. The first delivery to Torrey Hunter, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. And strike 1. Pretty revealing look at those eyes in the dugout, like he's got us tonight, folks.
Quite glum.
Just another ho-hum inning for Sabathia. Went 8 in Game 1. He's gone 8 here in Game 4. 9th inning. Yankees up 7-1. CC Sabathia getting congratulations on his way down the dugout for 8 brilliant innings on 3 days rest. And now Rodriguez, just for good measure, plugs the gap in left center field. And Alcs Rodriguez, who has homered here tonight, singled, has now doubled.
He has also walked, so he's been on base 4 times, 2 runs scored. He scored the first run of the game for the Yankees back in the 4th inning. First pitch hitting, just hammers one to left center.
So Rodriguez is out there for Posada. The Yankees lead by 6. And while the Yankees had Phil Hughes getting loose earlier, now it's Chad Godin. He's starting to get loose out in the bullpen, and we look at our Travelers game-changing plays. A lot of action here tonight. 2-run shot by Rodriguez in the 5th inning made it 5-0 New York. And for Alcs, his 5th home run to go with 11 RBIs this postseason. Palmer misses, and the count evens 1-1.
Joe, you talked about the looks of confidence on Alcs Rodriguez's face earlier in the game. Well, he is joined by the confidence on the face of CC Sabathia. 2 main cogs for the Yankees.
And you talk about a return on investment. The organization has put in $460 million, give or take, depending on who you're asking, between the combination of CC Sabathia and Alcs Rodriguez. And they have come through this postseason just about every time they've been asked. Here's one into right. That ball will be caught by Abreu. Tagging is Rodriguez, and he goes to third. The ball goes into the dugout, and Rodriguez scores to make it 8-1.
What has he not done tonight? Abreu going to his left. Rodriguez reads that. Abreu's throw by third baseman Sean Figgins. Rodriguez slides into third. Watch it tag. It's a bit late, but running well into third. The slide, and he walks home. Two guys have controlled this game for the Yankees tonight, Rodriguez and Sabathia.
The bases are empty for Matsui in what is now a 7-run game, 8-1. And Hideki Matsui has not been in on the fun at all. He's 0 for 4. And in the hole here, 0-2. Phil Hughes now joins Chad Godin on the bullpen mound for New York. The 0-2 pitch to Matsui is a little inside, ball 1. Through all those pitching changes, it's been Godin remaining in the bullpen to this point. And he was held back in case the Yankees needed a fourth starter in this ALCS. They have not, as the weather cooperated enough for the first 2 games back at Yankee Stadium. There's strike 3 for out number 2. And an 0 for 5 night for Matsui. Unless a big 9th inning rally, that's what the Angels will be facing. 28 teams have trailed a series 3-1. 6 teams have come back to win the series. Last time it happened was the Boston team in 2007 against the Indians. But they were going home for games 6 and 7.
That was the year that the Cleveland Indians had a left-handed pitcher by the name of CC Sabathia, who always watched the World Series, but he didn't that year because he thought Cleveland should be in it. Red Sox winning 3 in a row, 1 in Cleveland and 2 back in Boston.
In that ALCS, Sabathia an 0-2 record, an ERA of 10.45. Then last year with the Brewers, just basically ran out of gas. The Brewers got everything they could out of Sabathia, who was 11-2 down the stretch after being traded to the Brewers on July 7th, an ERA of 1.65. Last 3 regular season starts were on 3 days rest. He made a divisional series start on 3 days rest, and lost game 2 to the Phillies, giving up a Victorino grand slam. And here in his first year with the Yankees, he has been dominant. Here's Brett Gardner, gets to swing the bat. Entered as a pinch runner for Swisher in the 8th and was caught stealing. First walk by Palmer, and now a strike to Gardner. A lot of work's been done by those two. Kevin Long, the hitting coach, to the right of Alex Rodriguez. Here's one into center. That ball's going to drop for a base hit, and it's 2 on with 2 out. And the batter will be Melky Cabrera. A nice night, and now in this ALCS, a .313 average with 2 RBIs that came back in the 4th inning on a base hit to left against Kazmir. That is down into the right field corner. More runs. In to score is Cano. Digging around third is Gardner. Flying to the plate. 2 more on a double by Cabrera, who has a 4 RBI game, and it's 10-1.
Cabrera lightning quick on a fastball inside. Cano scores easily, as does Gardner. Well, you're right. He was flying around the bases.
He's even cheering the loudest in the dugout. This one bounces in from Palmer. Meanwhile, when you think ahead to Thursday night, the Yankees will have Burnett on the mound, and they're going to be that much tougher to beat because all of their big guns in the bullpen will have 2 days off. Godin now is the only one getting loose for the Yankees in their pen. He takes a break, but he was the only one on the mound, and he will take over in the bottom of this inning, which is coming now. In the frame. 3 more runs for New York, trying to take game 4 and go up 3 games to 1. Bottom of the 9th, 10-1 Yankees. The Yankees get to use Chad Godin, who was a nice pickup from San Diego down the stretch. Once again, our Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. The barehanded grab by Eric Ibar out of the air to get Jeter at first. That happened in the 8th. 3 more runs in the 9th inning, and so now New York has the luxury of using Chad Godin, get him involved in the action, give the rest of their bullpen the night off. With an off day tomorrow, they'll be really well rested on Thursday.
Boy, it is some display of power in pitching this evening by the Yankees. Sabathia, 8 innings of work, only 1 run. And Alex Rodriguez, just both of those guys just controlling the game.
And Sabathia on 3 days rest ends up, I would say, as dominant as he was with extra rest going into game 1 of this American League Championship Series.
You know what that reminds me of? His performance tonight reminds me of Josh Beckett's performance against the Yankees to win the World Series for the Florida Marlins back in 2003. That's how dominant Sabathia. You know, we said earlier he could pitch 20 innings. That might have been a little bit of an overstatement, but he certainly could have pitched a complete game tonight easily.
Godin deals a fastball for a strike. Chad Godin had a 3.19 ERA in 6 starts for the Yankees, including a start here against the Angels. And the Yankees won all 6 games he started, and he did pretty well coming out of the bullpen. So while he hasn't been used with all the relievers to this point, trotted out there by Joe Girardi, he's got good stuff, and he was a nice pickup from the Padres. Guerrero's 1 for 3 tonight. 2-2. Godin picked up on August 6th from San Diego. Last pitched on October 4th. And overall in 11 appearances for the Yankees, 2-0 and an ERA under 3.5, 3.43. Rivera and Kendrick will follow. 2-2 pitch, and reaching forward, a little pop up into right for Melky Cabrera. 1 out. Now Juan Rivera, who came up in a big spot in the 6th inning. Sabathia was in maybe his biggest jam of the night. A leadoff walk, a base hit by Vladimir Guerrero to right. Juan Rivera came up, bounced into a double play. Kendrick lined out, and the Angels never threatened again. Sabathia, who at one point retired 10 straight, ended his night retiring the last 8. Pretty good jump on that fastball from Godin, strike 1. Gary Matthews Jr. is in the on-deck circle. He'll hit for Kendrick. Good tight breaking ball from a guy who hasn't pitched since the 4th as we play here on the 20th. Which, by the way, today is the 99th birthday of Bob Shepard, the longtime voice of Yankee Stadium. Here is a fly ball into center for Gardner. 2 out. Bob Shepard has not been at the stadium to do a game since 2007. Here's his first lineup card. Mickey Mantle. That was his debut, right?
Right. First game.
April 17th, 1951. Every day, every game for 57 years. And a sweet man who we miss seeing around the hallways at Yankee Stadium.
Better known and reverently known around the old Yankee Stadium as the voice of God.
2 greats during the past week. John Wooden, turning 99. 2 out, nobody on, and a fastball for a strike from Godin. Jared Weaver made the start yesterday. Lasted 5. Tonight's starter, Scott Kazmir, got into the 5th. But the story is written by 2. CC Sabathia and Alex Rodriguez. Strike 2.
Gary Matthews Jr., the son of Gary Matthews, Sarge, who is now an announcer for the Philadelphia Phillies, beloved in 3 time zones as a player with the San Francisco Giants, the Chicago Cubs, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Atlanta Braves.
A 1-2 from Godin. 2-2. After one more out, the Yankees will be 1 win away from their first World Series since 2003. And the Marlins and Josh Beckett beat him in 6. There's Cano to his right. What a night for New York. They win it 10-1 and they lead 3 games to 1 in this ALCS. A 1-2-3 uneventful 9th inning for Godin. A home run in this game for Johnny Damon. A big night offensively for Rodriguez with a walk, a single, a double, a home run. He scored 3 times, stole a base. And all the questions surrounding a pitching change in the 11th inning yesterday in game 3 for Girardi are long gone. His Yankees lead in this ALCS 3 games to 1.
Yeah, all the questions after yesterday's game have evaporated.
Back-to-back errorless games for New York. And a 10-1 win. And here are the 2 stars this postseason. CC Sabathia, 3-0, an ERA of 1.19, 3 walks and 20 strikeouts. Short rest here tonight, went 8. Allowed a run on 5 hits. And Alex Rodriguez, this postseason, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, and he's hitting over 400. And our player of the game tonight, brought to you by Ink, the new business card from Chase. It's got to be CC Sabathia. On 3 days rest, he made his mark with 8 innings, 1 run on 5 hits. Make your mark with Ink. And we go down to the field in Ken Rosenthal.
Alex, 5 home runs in the postseason, 1 in each of your past 3 games. When was the last time you were this locked in?
Well, I mean, it's been a while, but I certainly feel good. The last 2 weeks have been really good, and I think it all started in my last game against Tampa Bay when I hit 2 and drove in 7.
You stole a base tonight. You raced home from 3rd, tagged up from 2nd, scored on an error. You had hip surgery last offseason. Are you all the way back physically?
Well, the stolen base was a little bit of a miracle. I feel pretty good physically. It's the best I felt all year, no doubt.
After all you've been through, the difficult postseasons, the surgery, the issues off the field in spring training, how gratifying is it for you to be in this position, playing this way right now?
Well, it feels really good. I certainly feel free and liberated, and it's the happiest I've been in a long time. And there's no profound answer. It's just I'm happy, and I'm in a great team.
Finally, CC Sabathia. Seems like he is a throwback that dropped down from another era. What impressed you the most about him tonight?
I mean, absolutely everything. He's going on 3-day rest. He's throwing the ball in the mid-90s. He throws 8 innings, and we're very lucky to have CC on our team.
Thank you, Alex. Let's go to Chris Myers with CC Sabathia.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. I'm outside the Yankee clubhouse, and you can see CC Sabathia as he waited by the doorway to congratulate each of his teammates. Mariano Rivera, he said, where's Jeter and A-Rod? I said, well, we're talking A-Rod out on the field. CC Sabathia, 101 pitches. As Joe and Tim talked about how strong he was getting towards the end of the game. CC, congratulations. First of all, forget the short rest. The changeup was working well. What was your game plan?
Just to come out and try to, command both sides of the plate. They came out swinging, early, and it kind of worked to our advantage. We were throwing a couple of balls right off the plate and, got out some innings quick.
Now, you had, the home run to Morales in the 5th, and then you had a double play in the 6th, got you out of trouble, a couple of strikeouts in the 7th. So it seemed like whenever they threatened you, you had an answer for them.
Yeah, I was just trying to make pitches. I knew it was going to be tough, and they have a good lineup. I just faced them, 3 or 4 days ago. So I was just trying to come out and make pitches, and like I said, it just helped me that they were real aggressive at the beginning.
Yeah. Any hope that you would complete the game with a pitch count? Joe Girardi said there wasn't one. Was that something in the back of your mind that, hey, I'd like to go the distance?
Skip said if I wasn't on 3 days rest, he would let me go back out. But our bullpen has been so great, here down the stretch, and we got Mo at the end, so you can't argue with that.
You seem very calm and relaxed. How good is this team? We saw a great performance tonight. You're 1 win away from going to the World Series.
This team is good. We got good chemistry. We got great players. We got Hall of Fame players on this team. So we got all the confidence in the world.
And the big contract, obviously, this the payoff to win at this time of year. That's what you expect?
I mean, yeah. The contract is something that I don't think about. Winning is something I think about every day.
All right, thanks for your time, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
CC Sabathia, 2 wins already in 4 ALCS games. Joe, back to you.
Yep, and 3 this postseason. And for the Yankees, a 10-1 win, and for Sabathia, dominant. 8 innings, 1 run, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, just 2 walks. 101 pitches. Yankees up 3-1. Chris, Eric, Mark coming up from the Fox Network Center after this. From all of us at the park, good night after Game 4.